6:47 is the time right now, and for the first time in 2 decades, Social Security benefits are actually expanding. Now, this is because of the Social Security Fairness Act, and it was one of the last things that former President Joe Biden pushed through, but essentially, it makes Social Security more fair. So if you pay into Social Security, you will now get a check. For example, back in the 80s, the government said some part-time workers and some public workers like firefighters and teachers didn't qualify for some Social Security benefits. I actually sat down with Jeff Sachs from Sachs Financial, and here is his explanation.
And up until now, or at least for the last 40 years or so, any credits you earned, you weren't getting that Social Security, even though you deserve it. So now, as a part-time worker, you can build those credits for Social Security, and then when you retire, receive them.
It is kind of, I don't want to say crazy, but it does seem unfair that you would pay into something and not get the benefits. Like you would be penalized for being a public worker or a part-time worker.
Yeah, they considered it almost double dipping is part of the rationale they did back in the 80s when they were trying to either extend the life of Social Security or reduce some budget deficits. But they've also been trying to reverse it for almost 40 years because, like you said, it is unfair for people that have paid into the system not to be able to get some benefit back.
Yeah, and especially if like part-time work was what you needed to do in order to work for your family or something.
And to make sure that you qualify for Social Security. If you were working that part-time job and then didn't realize that all of that effort didn't amount to an additional pension, it really is unfair.
So this just went into effect, but the average person on Social Security could get $360 more a month in their checks. Some people could even get a payout for 2024. And we should mention this could impact tens of thousands of people in Missouri, up to 2 million nationwide. You can see the full interview on Michelle on the Money this Friday on 5+ after the noon show. But you know, we were talking about all the jobs that we've had in our lifetimes. I'm thinking from 14 to 22, you know, I was working part-time. None of that money counted. And I think about people who might be working part-time for their families, like moms, for example, you know, who are trying to make ends meet and also just get a little extra cash. Well, now, you know, they will get some money back because they pay into it. But I just think I think it is much more fair. It seems like it anyway. A lot of questions as we head into 2025 under a new administration, but ideally this should be going through.
It's also crazy to think about all the jobs I had back when I was a kid, odded-in jobs where you didn't fill out an application. All that money, gone, Anthony, gone.